has been, frankly, embarrassing for climate change alarmists such as myself, Al Gore and Greta Thunberg, among others, who falsely raised the alarm that the world is warming up and that the insignificant increase in a trace gas, carbon dioxide, from 0.03% to 0.04% is having any effect at all on the atmosphere or indeed the climate. We used to hang on to tiny snippets of evidence like the Jakobshavn Glacier in Greenland, which is in fact growing back and has been for the last 5 years. And those of you with long memories will have noticed that story just slip away from the news like it never happened, as indeed the polar bears before them. Polar bears were the poster childs of a mass extinction event, the Anthropocene, man-made extinction caused by carbon dioxide. Whereas in fact, polar bear numbers have increased fourfold in the last decade. And although we may have more precise satellite measurements on the movements of iceberg that simply weren't available to our ancestors, we falsely extrapolate that giant icebergs have never broken off the poles before in ancient history, which is clearly a preposterous leap of faith. We are in fact on a planet with an axial tilt and a moon influencing our rotation and diurnal length, with the planets Jupiter and Saturn controlling the variable eccentricity of our world, as well as the precession of the equinoxes over a 26,000-year cycle caused by the gyroscopic stability of the liquid iron core. Just search for Milankovitch cycles if any of you are unsure. And further compounded is that global warming conspiracy theorists have been thwarted by the current event of the grand solar minimum, where the sun has been inactive now for about 5 years. The truth is that the atmosphere is at a much lower pressure than at any time in its history, and carbon dioxide is in fact the very giver of life on Earth, for we are all carbon-based life forms somewhere down the food chain from the chlorophyll in a leaf. The snow continues to fall. So let's all enjoy this interglacial period between ice ages, for in a mere 15,000 years' time, the British Isles will be submerged under a mile of ice. The Himalayas and Tibet, likewise. And all that water will be taken out of the sea, reducing its levels by some 70 meters globally. Sri Lanka will reconnect to India, Australia to Indonesia, Britain back back to Denmark, and the Isthmus of Central America will be an extremely wide ribbon extending into the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, which will be one continuous desert. Change has always been a part of life, and indeed, were it not for ancient changes in the Rift Valley of Kenya some 2 million years ago, we wouldn't even be here to appreciate the magnificent variety of life in the lands of the polar winter. So clearly the global warming hoax has failed, along with scams like carbon tax meant to destroy industry in the West, while India and China continue to pollute at levels beyond our capability. That's why the new hoax is here, and we all know what that is.
How dare you?